Gender discrimination. According to a study done by Haruna Jatoi, gender discrimination is an important study in Pakistani context. Several factors explain why girls are less likely to be educated than boys. Girls are less likely to attend school if the school building is remote from their home. So that means if the place where the girls are living, there is no school building there and there is no school around, then it will be less likely that the girl students they attend the school, especially if it is in the remote area and the girl students have to go to that remote area which is far from home. So that means that will be the basic reason for the girl students not to attend the school. Usually in the Pakistani context, the villages and small towns, they have primary schools for girls, but they do not have secondary and middle schools. And usually the girls, they have to walk to the other villages or to the next town to get into a secondary or middle school. Whereas for the parents, it becomes a matter of concern of their safety of the girls, because they cannot have their girls out of their home for such a long duration of time where the girls have to travel far, and that would mean that they would be coming back home late in the evening. And also on their way to the school, it might not be very safe for them to go to that school by themselves. So that is the reason for the girls not to be attending schools and to be less educated than boys. Poor families are less likely to educate girls than boys. Again, when we look at the factor that the primary school education is free in Pakistan, that means that the parents will be able to afford the girls' education as well as the boys in the primary section. But as the girls would be going to the secondary or middle section, since the parents they have to pay for the fee, the uniform, the books and other things required in the school, the poor families will not be able to afford the education for the girls. And what will the result be of that? That means the boy will be preferred to send to the school. The family will prefer to send the boy in the family to the school if they can afford one person's education. In case there are more than one boys in the family, most of the time, most of these boys will be sent for education. But even if there is one girl in the family cannot afford the fee of the girls' school. Therefore, they will not allow the girl to attend the school. That is all that is happening in the Pakistani context. And that results in lesser education amongst the girl students. And therefore, that means that as a result of that, there would be hardly few female teachers in the villages or the towns because the girls are not getting education, and therefore there will be hardly any female teachers to be professionally and skillfully trained to become teachers. Both of these factors have more impact in countries with cultural or religious traditions that discourage the education of girls. Although in our religion, Islam, it is encouraged that the girls should be taking education equally, they have the right as the boys have the right to get education. So in Islam, it is to be treated equally as far as the concern of education is there. So, but in some countries, because of the culture and because of the religious values that prevail there, the education amongst the girls is highly discouraged. And this results into having lesser female teachers, lesser female doctors, and ultimately this becomes a very difficult situation for the society and the community as well as the country, because we all know that we need people in each and every field. And in each and every field, we do need a representation from the female group of the country and the society. But because of all these reasons, which becomes a very important part and a very influential part of the culture, which influences the culture and also the output and performance of people, and it becomes a problematic issue with the people when they are not having girls being educated in the society and they are not being sent to the schools. And in the Pakistani context, we need to take care of it because we need to know that it is very important for the girls to get education. Even if the culture does not allow them to work as teachers or doctors, but still they have a right to education. And all types of education should be encouraged for girls and boys equally. Unfortunately, the poor families will not be able to follow this because of the funds and the limitations of their income. They will always choose to send the boys to the schools in order to get education because it is preferred that he should get education, which would result in a good employment and a good job for the boy to support the family. Whereas the girl is considered that her education is not really going to help anybody because in any case the girl is going to get married and go to some other family and she just needs to take care of the house and her children. The educated girl will look after the children and her house in a much better way than the girl who is not educated because she will be able to differentiate between the good and the bad in the society and make it a better living for herself and her family.